The evil men do the say least with them. It is written all over Dan's face that he is responsible for the kidnap of AGK. He is behind everything. It is only a matter of time and AGK and every other person will know the kind of person Dan truly is. It is so unfortunate how jealousy can make people to become so evil and nasty at the same time. Remember after what happened in the last episode that AGK was kidnapped, Andy told Dan that he wants to speak with him because he was convinced in his heart that Dan will have a hand in this whole thing. Now Maachi could not even help it. She just lost a child and now the husband has been kidnapped. Why would Maachi pass through all these pains? This is the reason why the mother never wanted her to marry AGK and the uncle wanted her to leave AGK, because obviously Maachi is suffering from the doom that is about to happen to AGK. She is so good and kind-hearted to be a part of this whole thing. I mean, she is not the one suffering it. Maachi has been crying all night. She remembered the child that she just lost and now that her husband has been kidnapped. In fact, she doesn't even know. Her feelings is just all over the place. She doesn't even know what to do. She was just crying in the room and the mother and every other person ran into the room to check on her on this episode. This episode has been so emotional. Maachi crying every single time. She has not even been able to eat. Ever since Maachi got married to AGK, it has been one problem or the other. It's so emotional how Maachi's mom was consoling Maachi. She was still crying and the mother was saying, don't worry. But then Maachi was making a demand that, mommy, please allow me to go back to my husband. That I want to go back to home because I have everything to comfort me there. Please don't stop me. I want to go back to my husband. And at this point, the mother, seeing that she can no longer keep Maachi, gave her the go ahead to go back to the house if she can find peace in the house, because this whole thing is just overwhelming. I wonder why Maachi is suffering for all this. It's more like she is the one paying for what AGK has done. Andy was never satisfied with the explanation that Dan gave. So Andy actually confronted Dan and asked him, these kidnappers called you, why? Instead of them to call Maachi or call Maachi's family, they decided to call you. Why did they call you? Because I need to understand this whole thing. And Dan immediately was like, are you trying to suspect me? Are you saying that I am behind this whole thing? And Andy was telling Dan that I know the kind of person that you are. I know what you can do. You have been jealous of AGK for a very long time now. I know that you are capable of doing something very bad. And Dan was already shaking because, in fact, he felt that nobody will know. But he has already seen that somehow people are already beginning to suspect that he is behind this whole thing, and he was just trying to act up that he cannot believe that Andy, after everything, will suspect him, that AGK has been good to him. AGK has been good to him right from when he met him, that he cannot do something like that. But we all know that you can't. You are evil. Your friendship with AGK has been a bad influence all along, so you have to explain yourself. And Andy was still insisting that Dan should explain to him why they have to call him instead of calling Maachi. And Dan immediately picked offense and left. That is how evil people do. Because the evil they do lives around them. Dan does not know what he has gotten himself into. Because they will definitely find out that he's behind the kidnap. He will be behind bars for the rest of his life. Maachi and the friends had to come back to the house. And she has been crying all along. She was crying and was hoping that the kidnappers will call back again to make their demands. And she was also hoping that the demand that these people will make will be something that she can handle. But she doesn't know that the mastermind that called Dan has already bidded price with them what to demand from the family, because he already know that AGK is expecting so much money from the bank to put in his business, and he doesn't want AGK to succeed, and that is why he wants to collect the money from AGK. While Maachi was crying, her friends were still consoling her, trying to make her feel that AGK is okay and he will definitely come back to her. But then AGK, on the other hand, was suffering in the hands of this kidnapper. They already tied him up and had beaten him a lot. And AGK, they were demanding for this money. Where is the money? And AGK was like, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have money. The truth is that Dan has already told these kidnappers about the money. So that you don't have any choice. Now you have seen the kind of person you call your best friend. Now you have seen what would you do? This is why our prayer should always be to have good friends around us that will not be harmful to us, that will not be this evil to go as far as bringing us down and forcing us to remain on the ground and never to rise. But then they say blood is thicker than water, and there is nothing that you can definitely do to separate this. Chingu is so concerned about what has happened to the brother Ejike. Even though Chingu has decided not, is trying and forcing herself not to admit the fact that not to admit the fact that she's missing Ejike and she's concerned about what has happened. She was just holding her phone, hoping that a call will come in. But then Maachi's mom came into the picture and like, Chingu, are you expecting a call from somebody? And Chingu immediately said, me expecting a call? No. But then she doesn't know that Maachi's mom sees a lot. And she already knows that she is missing Ejike and praying that nothing will happen to him. And she immediately told Chingu that it is not wrong. Stop fighting the fact that you miss your brother. Stop fighting the fact that you have concern towards him. I know your brother may have done something wrong to you in such a way that you now hate him. But the truth is, it is written all over you that you are missing him. And you are also praying that nothing happens to him. So this can only help you to understand that all you need in this life is to behave well, treat people nicely, so that when something happens to you, they will be there to support you and even prevent evil from coming your way. And then Maachi's mother advised Chingu to go to the house and be with the other people and support Maachi. Let them be there and pray that nothing happens to Ejike, that she is going to take care of her daughter. This woman is so kind. And Chingu was just thanking Maachi's mother and immediately ran to Maachi's house. But while they were at Maachi's house, they all kept their phones on the table, hoping for these kidnappers to call them. But at the end of the day, Dan was shaking so much. Dan, why are you shaking? Call these kidnappers with the same number that they use in calling you. And Dan was shaking so much. In fact, he is making himself a suspect already, because they can already see what is going on with Dan. He was like, I'm calling them, but they are not even responding. What do you want me to do and all that? And Andy was still yelling at Dan because he knows very well what is happening. But Maachi could only help herself but cry and try to hope that Ejike will call or perhaps come back home. Then, while they were actually arguing among themselves, while they were trying to argue themselves, they had a knock on the door, and they immediately ran to the door thinking that Ejike is back. But then it was Chingu that came into the picture. And Dan was like, why are you here? You never even liked Ejike in the first place. And Chingu immediately told Dan, I may not like him in the first place, but Ejike is my blood. He is my brother, so I have every right to be here. And immediately Maachi told Chingu that you have every right to be here just like every other person to support Ejike. And they were all there arguing and hoping to receive a call. The call finally came in, and Maachi immediately picked the call and was crying, asking them about the husband's whereabouts. And the kidnappers told Maachi that your husband is here, but he's in a bad shape. Immediately, Maachi started crying that what happened to my husband? What did you do to him? And the kidnapper said, your husband is here, he's in a bad shape, that the only thing that will bring him out is when you are able to meet our demands. But immediately, Maachi told them to actually name the demand. What do you want? I'm ready to do anything. And these kidnappers told Maachi to make available 100 million naira so that they can set the husband free. The question is, where is Maachi going to get 100 million naira to give to these kidnappers? She has just lost her job. Nothing is working right now. Where is she going to get 100 million naira? I am very sure that Dan will bring a suggestion on how to get this 100 million. Then these people will get to find out that Dan is behind this whole thing. In fact, his plot towards Ejike would turn against him, but he never know what he has put himself into. But how will Ejike know where the money is when he was only on his way to the bank to get this money from the bank to put into his business? Well, we will get to know that on the next episode. Please, if you have not liked the video, like the video and subscribe to the channel if you are new here. I will bring the next episode to you as soon as it drops. But for now, take care.